All right. Good morning, boys and girls. Ross Brezovar here again for our weekly coffee break. I hope you have yours. I always have mine. Today we're going to talk more in a summary of the last several weeks that we've been talking about Google Business Profile. We've talked a lot about the reasons why, what to do, how to do it, why to do it. Today I'm going to sort of summarize that. I'm going to add some tips in as to like certain things that we would want you to make sure you try to take advantage of this profile from Google. This is one of their many tools. We're also going to showcase, or I'm going to showcase some of the functionality in our CRM platform that will allow you to do some of the tasks that are required or at least recommended within the Google Business Profile. And we're even going to showcase one particular client that has shown incredible growth in just 1 year. So let me get started real quick. And obviously we're talking about Google Business Profile. And if you haven't watched any of the other videos or we're not on any of the other calls, this is really primarily something that, even though Google's been around for a long time, I think in the last, let's say 6 to 12 months, a lot of the changes they've made have really been to enhance what they can do, and of course why they want you to go to them for using their tools. This new SEO centers wholly around all of their Google tools, and the more of those tools you utilize, the better, right? So it's not your website, it's Google tools. We've actually seen 152% increase in sales volumes after just 6 to 12 months of properly managing Google Business Profiles, which is just crushing traditional SEO simply by following a very similar set of rules that are highly rewarded by Google, right? So if you don't know, if you don't have a Google Business Profile, you can easily sign one up if you go to business.google.com or on search or even Maps. That is the starting point. You need to set up a business profile. There is a good chance that you may have one already created for you. Google likes to do that once you've been in business for a while. So you may have to then claim the business profile for yourself. Obviously, you want to make sure you do that so that someone else doesn't take advantage of your work, right? So a couple of tips. One is once you've got your profile up and running, you got to regularly log into your profile. You got to keep it up to date, make changes when and where necessary. This could be as easy as changing the hours of operations, whether it's something internal, like you're running inventory at the end of the month, or you've got a holiday coming up, adding, photos and that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that in here in just a minute. And then the description, you really need to put a lot of thought into the description that you put for yourself, right? You want to make sure you fill in all the information fields for optimization, like your hours, like we mentioned earlier. And you want to make sure that this is all the way across the internet, right? So if you're using your business address, your business phone, your business email address, you need to make sure that all of those items are the same on all of your other, what they call citations, which could be your Facebook profile, Facebook account, could be your Instagram account, could be Yelp if you're in the US or wherever it's utilized. So you need to make sure that is something that you take advantage of, because you kind of get discounted points if you don't have. If you're using one email over here and another one on Facebook, it's not a good idea to do that, right? So typically, the best way to do this, as we've been mentioning, is optimizing your Google Business Profile. But this is a maintenance. This is something that has to go on all the time. It's not something you can set and forget. One of those things would be to have your services or your products on your website and on the Google website, for lack of a better word, because it allows people to see what you are offering right away, especially if you're utilizing the Google Business Profile that way. And let me just show you real quick. I'm going to share my screen. You can see over here, this is our CRM platform, Ramp. And you can see this is a demo account, by the way. So any information you see here is not real. It's fake. But we've got the ability to do sales funnels, but also full website. So if this was an old client of ours who we built a complete website for, and if you look here, you'll notice that on the website, you would want to list, and I apologize, but I know my internet's running a little low today, a little slow. So this is showing what they do. This is what they work on: bathrooms and kitchens. That's their main focus. One of the other tips that we really suggest you have is to keep an FAQ, or frequently asked questions, section on your website. So you can see here, this is fully built out with the questions commonly asked by people that are looking to, have work done on their kitchens or their bathrooms. So let me go back to this real quick. All right. One of the other big features, or one of the big recommendations, is adding photos. And this is something you should do frequently. We really recommend at least 30 photos, right? So you can take pictures of anything, your building, your sign, the different products or services you offer, team members, activities that you might do in the neighborhood, like volunteer work or things that you do with other organizations. But one extra tip is when you're taking it, take it using your phone and make sure that your geo tagging is turned on. That way that when you take the photos, it's actually tagging it where you're located. That is sort of some extra mustard on the sandwich, right? So definitely want to make sure that you do that. One of the things that a lot of people don't think about, and I'm going to switch back over here in just a second, is obviously promoting yourself by getting reviews, right? Google loves reviews. Well, Facebook does too, but Google really does put a lot of emphasis on that. And it's not just getting the reviews. Obviously, you want to get good reviews, right? But it's also the communication. We'll show you that here in just a second. So let me switch over. And I'm going to go to, all right, so another thing that our platform allows us to do is actually manage and help you with requesting reviews, getting people that you have done business with or have communicated with. We have a whole section in here just on reputation management. You can see that you can do it right from this screen, but another way to do it is when you're actually communicating with someone and you're maybe solving an issue or helping with support, we have what's called a universal inbox. And if you haven't seen this in previous of our presentations, this is a great place because you literally have all of your social media or communications in one place that you can actually listen to and talk to someone that's on Facebook Messenger. They could be on Instagram chat. One thing that we obviously, because we're talking about Google, is you need to make sure you turn on Google Chat. And that's something that we can also do for you, is add our feature to your Google business profile, so now somebody can actually chat with you live. And what's interesting is when you're here, so you can see now, again, these are either team members from our team or fake data. But as you can see, this is where we can communicate, and the icon we should see here is Messenger. So this was someone who communicated with us on Messenger. If it was Instagram, it would show up on Instagram as well. It would show the logo, so you would know where you're actually talking to someone. That's Google, if it's Facebook Messenger, if it's Instagram, if it's an email that's being responded to, or a text message that you sent out, maybe they replied to. This is all where it would come into one place. And our mobile app also has this feature in it, so that makes it easier if you're on the go. Somebody asks a question, you can easily respond right away, because Google loves that. They love the fact that you are taking care of your customers. And obviously, if you're having a great conversation and somebody really likes your services or products, you would want to ask them right from here. And I know you can't see this on the bottom right-hand corner, but we can actually build a workflow and automation that would actually invite them right from here while you're chatting. Say, hey, if you've really enjoyed our service, we'd love to hear from you with a review. If you're willing to, here's a link. And then it would be able to send it to them directly wherever your communication is. And I always say this when we're talking about the universal inbox. Remember, Facebook, Instagram, they have a 24-hour rule for businesses or organizations communicating back to private accounts or personal accounts. So if somebody messaged you and you don't see it for 3 days, you really can't respond. They tend not to like that. Now, there are ways around that, especially with automated bots, chat bots, or getting them to agree to, through the chat bot, yes, it's okay to notify me outside of the 24-hour rule, but that is something that has to be set up and put in advance. All right. So, yes, replying to customer reviews, huge tip here. Please try to do this within 24 hours. I think that when someone, and I'm the same way, if I'm looking at reviews, obviously you want to see if somebody has good reviews and how many people have reviewed, but it's also important to see that the company has actually responded, right? Not so much just to the positive, but I would say more so for the negative. If somebody had a bad experience and you can see that the organization or the company responded right away, that's a huge plus. It means you care enough, right, that you actually responded and tried to fix the issue, right? So I definitely think that is something worth noting. Let me quickly switch over to, I'm going to showcase some, or at least highlight some statistics. If you can see here, this is a company on Northeast United States. They're in services, they offer services. Not allowed to really provide names. They've been kind enough to allow us to use the stats, but not with their information on it. As you can see, this is from January 21 of 2022, so just over a year ago, up until January 21st of this year. On maps, you can see here on the right-hand side, 82,500, an increase of 11%, 11% on the maps. And then you've got search, 62,000. And this was a brand new account. This was started a year ago, or just over a year ago now that it's February. So you can see how much, and this is organic. This is from maintaining a good quality Google business profile. If you look on the next slide, you'll see that 831 requests for driving directions. They received 874 phone calls, and they had almost 4,000 visits on their website. And then one last real quick, you can see this is the number of times the listing was actually viewed on maps and in search. And they were viewed on maps 7,500 times and 4,000 times on search. So again, it's important to see this as a huge way to drive traffic to your website or to you, whether it's getting directions because people are looking for something right now, that restaurant close to me, or Mexican food next to me, near me, that they can get driving directions right from there, or even ask questions if you have the live chat online and you've got somebody who's managing that for you, but also maintaining this throughout the year. So let me just turn this off for a second now. All right, so these are all tips and recommendations that we really believe you should be taking advantage of. If you do not have the time, energy, or the there's a lot, right? So if you don't have that, you are looking for us to help you. We are more than happy to. Obviously, we can help create and or optimize the profile that you have. We'll have an expert SEO strategist that is dedicated to working with you. We'll create the content, we'll post it for you. We'll do the keyword and the competitor analysis for you. You'll have an executive reporting dashboard available to you as well. And it's quite easy. You just let us know. We will get on a call. We want to get to know you, get to know your market. Obviously, whatever services and products that you're offering, we'll conduct the keyword and competitor analysis, like I mentioned, and then we'll do optimization for you throughout the year. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the packages we have to offer, I would really appreciate it reaching out. I'd love to jump on a call with you. That's all I have for today. Next week, we're also pretty excited about some brand new stuff we're bringing as well.